So anyway, I'm gonna get back to what JJ was talking about. Let's follow along and pick up where he was at in this audio message.
And most recently, a guy, this this one was even worse, because this guy is not just famous on the internet. He was a conservative activist. Then, because of he got popular on the internet, he got elected to become a legislator. And during this intercourse between Russia and Ukraine, he went to Ukraine saying that he was there to give some aid, to 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 send some resource to help Ukrainian people. But he was not there just for it, because he was in a WhatsApp group talking with his friends, and he sent some audios to his friends talking about Ukrainian women. And he was talking something like, "Oh man, these women here are baddies, but they are poor. They are easy because they are poor. They are in need, so they are need. So I'm gonna get some these, pink coochies, pink buttholes, because they are easy." And he said, he mentioned it literally, that he was there to make some tour de blonde. He was there for sex tourism. And this audio was leaked by someone, and this got so viral, and this guy was canceled so bad that he lost his term as legislator. He got expelled from the house, um, and his party, also dishonored him, and he lost his fiancée. A lot of financial problems. He responded some things. They investigated his whole life to see if he was involved in some professional sex tourism thing. And man, this was a whole mess.
So let's take a look at this story that JJ was just talking about. Because to be honest with you, I hadn't heard about this story until he sent me the link when he talked a little bit about it in the audio. And I had to ask him, I'm like, well, I'm familiar with the story of the Brazilian men, getting Russian women to say vulgar things in Portuguese in the streets of Russia during the 2018 World Cup. I knew that story. But this story about the second story that he said that involved a congressman, I wasn't familiar with that story. So he sent me the link. I checked it out. Then I noticed, it's funny because the day before he sent me the link and told me about the story, the girl, the woman, the young lady in Brazil who had blew up the Auston Holleman story. Her name is Stephanie Ribeiro. She's a well-known Black feminist. I think she was a host of a couple of TV shows on the GNT television network in Brazil. I think she's an architect. And it was because of her Instagram, what they said, exposing Auston Holleman, that his story just blew up on the internet. But sticking to the story, when I went to her Instagram page, I saw that she had an article about this same guy that JJ was just talking about. So I'm like, JJ talked about it and Stephanie Ribeiro talked about it. I wasn't familiar with the story, so I had to familiarize myself with it. So let's check it out. I'll just to share a little bit more context of what the story that he was talking about. Back to Brazil on the leaked audio and the context. He was a congressman in the city of Sao Paulo, or I don't know if it's the city or the state, but in Sao Paulo, and he was in the Ukraine, and he made the comment, was heard in a WhatsApp audio. I don't know if he was participating in a group with several people or this was a message, but he was heard saying Ukrainian women are easy because they're poor. So this is this controversy. And again, like I said, he was a congressman in Sao Paulo. His nickname is Mamai Fale, which means, mommy, I spoke. I don't know what that nickname means. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research in this. Everybody knows who he is and they know him by this nickname, but I'm not familiar with it. But okay, so the congressman traveled to Ukraine after he was heard making a state women. He's quoted as saying, "They look, and I'm gonna tell you, they're easy because they're poor. And here, man, my Instagram profile is full of subscribers. It works too good. Later, I'm going to tell you the story. I didn't pick up anyone but time. Two groups of girls. It's unbelievable how easy it was," he said in one of the excerpts of this audio that was leaked, right? So he's speaking openly about how easy it was. He says to pick up like Ukrainian women. What else did he say here? The comments that were heard, like I said, somebody leaked his audio, and he said it was wrong what I said. This is not what do you say? This is not how I think. What I said was an error in a moment of excitement. Period. Right. I so then he's asking for understand the context because they're two different contexts. So he's trying to, I don't know, like clean up what he was what he was heard saying, and trying to backpedal, talking about, maybe his words were taken out of context, and but a lot of people didn't see it that way, and this is why this story blew up. So this is a story that JJ was talking about. So it's another thing to keep this in mind. What Auston Holleman did, and again, I can't defend what he did, but I have to keep repeating, just like, JJ said in his audio, you got Brazilian men who do this in other countries as well. It's not to say one is right, one is wrong. I'm just saying this is the world that we're living in now. This is the type of behavior. When you continue to push where, porn is the norm, sex is just about everywhere you turn. I mean, what do we expect is going to happen? Again, this is not to say this type of behavior is, it should be just, dismissed as boys will be boys. I'm not saying that at all. Type of society that we live in. So if you want to continue to push the envelope of what's acceptable behavior, what is acceptable expressions of sexuality, this is the type of thing you're going to get. And that's what I keep in mind when I hear about these type of stories. And then I hear this is the fruit of having this sexually free society. Let people decide, okay, is this how we really want to live? Or are we starting to see that maybe this is not, let's check in with JJ and see what else he has to say, what other comments he might have. So I'm gonna go back to his audio right now.
And these two episodes, this is just things that feminists are waiting for. They're craving for stories like that to prey on this shit, to push forward their agenda, to show that Brazil is a patriarchal society. We are misogynists and machistas and things like that. But this is not true. This is not true. Brazil is not a patriarchal society. No longer. We actually live in a matriarchal as the whole West.
That's key to what he's saying. He's saying that Brazil is perceived as a country that is a matriarch, but he's saying in reality, Brazil is perceived as being a patriarchal country, and he's saying that it's actually a matriarchal country. And the conversations that we've had through this app for the last few months, he just expressed what he's seen. He was like, look, I'm from here. American men don't know what Brazilian women are really like. They're the ones who are running everything. They're running the household. They make the choices in the home. They make the choices for the purchases. These are, bossy women. So this is what I'm saying. You can't, people shouldn't look online and come to a conclusion about what they think all Brazilian women are like, because this is something that he was telling me about. I saw facets of what he was talking about in some of the families that I got to know in the country, when I was living there. So, this is not me speaking. Like I'm saying, it was kind of new when he presented some of this information to me. But this is a guy who was born and raised in Brazil, and these are the opinions that he has about, how Brazilian society functions on a day-to-day basis.
But, things are kind of hypocrite, because on the other hand, What we got here in Brazil is uh, a rise of hidden prostitution. And by hidden prostitute, what I meant, uh, I saw on the comments of the O'Shea video about this Austin guy, and I saw a guy talking about in the comments that in Brazil prostitution is legal, and this is straight up lie. This is straight up lie because things is more complex than that. And because the passport bro or the dudes that promote these travels to experience Brazil and how easy it is to get women here, they don't tell the whole truth. And because they don't know also the whole truth, they don't know the country, they don't know the culture, they don't know the laws, they don't know how feminism is so big here in Brazil, and they spread this misinformation, and guys came to Brazil and act silly like Austin did, or like these Brazilian dudes did the same shit overseas. But the thing is, the feminist agenda is just wanting one opportunity, just wanting one thing to, to prey on this thing with their feminist online army and try to paint that all Brazilians are misogynistic and Brazilian women are not whores and sexualism should not be happening in Brazil, which is true. I agree with them. This is a bad thing that should not be happening here. But prostitution is illegal. It's illegal. You may find um, some girls on the street. In some spot, you may find some women and working girls. You may find some women online. We got some specific sites for this. We got also red districts. In my city, we have one red district, but this thing is hidden. It's the hypocrisy that happened here in Brazil. It's illegal, but if you want, you find it.
Okay, listen to what he's saying here too. Um, wow, this is intriguing. He's saying that a lot of people seem to believe that prostitution is legal in Brazil, and he's saying it's absolutely not. Just the comments that people were making online about the availability of Brazilian women. Like, one guy actually said this. He was like, it's a known fact, all Brazilian women are for sale. He said something to that degree. What JJ is going to get into and I'm coming to a close on the first half of this video, but he also got into talking about this type of hidden prostitution that goes on via places like TikTok and Instagram among Brazilian women. And some women have exposed this, just basically admitting that they participate in this type of sugar daddy lifestyle, sex for pay. So this is something that he started sending me a lot of videos, and just check out some of the comments on this video right here and see it for yourself.
That promoting this stuff, maybe Austin was doing consciously or not, but most likely these passport bros or guys that come and get easy women in Brazil are dealing with prostitutes or hidden prostitutes. They are getting low tier women because the best women in Brazil, they are not on the streets like that. You can't get them like that. You gotta have some connection. Black black Brazilian women or not, Brazilian women are so embedded with the feminists that they are really sure they don't need men for anything. They don't need your money. They don't need you. They're convinced uh, about this shit. They don't want to marry American men. They don't want to marry European guys. They just want to have fun, and they just want a guy that really has the means to provide a lifestyle, to have a fun for a while. But they are not desperate looking for men to get them out of the country, to get the green card, things like that. No, no, no. The dudes are uninformed, thinking that the Brazilian women are more feminine, more sympathetic, more warm embrace because they are American, because they have some American dollars. But this is not true. They may act like that because they want your money. They will go out with you. They will extract your resource as much as they can, have their fun, maybe give you sex, and there you go. They will leave you as because they don't want you. These women don't want men for nothing. They are full convinced that a woman need a man like a fish need a bicycle. That's it. That's it. So if you really want something serious, you gotta be introduced. You gotta go to better place. You gotta show a lifestyle that maybe got attention of high quality women. And if you are not doing that, if you are just going to the beach or to some tourist spots, you are dealing with prostitutes or low tier women, especially in Salvador, Bahia, or all the way on the northeast, because there happens heavily this sexual tourism thing. So this was what I'm about to say. That's a lot to discuss. We may find some time and space to talk more about this issue because it's a lot to unpack. But just to give you a glimpse of information of what's really going on in Brazil, and I hope this can be useful for you, for your audience.
All right. So you heard what he had to say about that. Really intriguing. I mean, I'm saying, I often say, I've said over the years that I never started my blog and now my YouTube channel to speak for Brazilians. I really wanted to be a channel that could bring some news in English about what's going on in Brazil, particularly from Black and brown people. So, this is how he sees things. I'm going to end this video here and pick it up with part 2 to see what else JJ has to say about some of these topics. But listen to what he said up until this point. Just he's talking about how he sees feminism. He's talking about the idea that prostitution is illegal in Brazil when it's not, how it's hidden, how women are participating in, online social media. And these are, he's saying that a lot of people who come to Brazil don't understand the country, they don't understand the culture, and they don't understand the language. So these are things that are just going to just slip right past them. I do feel that if somebody who had a lot of experience in Brazil for some years had to pull somebody like Auston Holleman aside, maybe this wouldn't have happened to him. Maybe he would have approaching women and recording videos in a different way. But neither here nor there. I'm going to end this right here. I'm going to pick up with part 2 of this in the next video. So if you got something out of this video with my special guest, JJ, definitely, give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel, share this content. Push the notification button so you're alerted as soon as my new videos go up. And I hope to see you guys in the next video.